Hi, in this video we're going to talk about argumentation, making an argument, making your case, supporting an opinion through writing. So what is argumentation? An argument defends an opinion or position on a topic that can be argued or debated. So oftentimes it's a controversial topic. An argument essay uses evidence to support the opinion and to support the thesis. The evidence can be facts, examples, data, expert opinions, or authorities' opinions, and it should be strong, sound, and clear evidence. The goal of an argument essay is to persuade the reader that your opinion, which is articulated in the thesis, is correct. So here are some strategies for argument essays. So first, it's necessary to choose a topic. So it has to be a topic that's debatable or controversial. And then determine your opinion on the topic. So it may require some research if it's a topic that you're not very familiar with. Begin to develop a thesis. Compile your evidence. List examples that support your thesis and do research. Find data, facts, expert opinions, etc. that support your thesis. And then evaluate the evidence that you have found. Choose the strongest evidence to include in your essay so that your argument will be very persuasive. Here are some tips for organizing an argument essay. Of course, we want to use good essay organization, so we'll start with an introduction paragraph that includes the thesis statement. The body paragraphs should have strong evidence to support the thesis, and there are many different ways to organize the body paragraphs. One possibility is to include one example or one piece of evidence in each body paragraph. Or another possibility is to group examples about a single point in each paragraph. And then of course we need a concluding paragraph, and that should restate the thesis and can also possibly extend. Some sample or possible organizational strategies including moving from more specific to more general in the body of the essay, or vice versa, moving from more general evidence to more specific data and evidence to support your thesis in the body. Of course, we want to use transitions just like we would in any other type of writing. So these are some important words that you may choose to use to transition smoothly from one idea to the next. Accordingly, admittedly, granted, although, even so, however, despite, because, since, indeed, in fact, moreover, on the one hand, on the other hand, and the rest of the transitions listed here can be used in an argument essay. And this is not an exhaustive list, so of course there are more transitions that can be used, but these are some good ones that can help in argument essays. It's also a good idea when writing a new type of essay to read some good examples. As you read argument essays, think about the essay organization. How is it organized? What strategies did the author use to organize the body of the essay? Analyze the type of evidence used. Is it all data? Is there a variety of evidence? Does the evidence strongly support the thesis? How does the evidence support the thesis? Pay attention to transitions and how the author convinces or persuades the reader. So we're going to take a look at an example. This is a very short argument essay. It's only 4 paragraphs, but it gives a good idea of the general organization of an argument essay. So this essay begins with a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. from his famous I Have a Dream speech. And it's possible to view this speech on YouTube or online in other places. So we'll start with this essay. Here we're going to begin with the title and the quote and the introductory paragraph. We still need affirmative action. That is the title. And the title, you can see, even clearly demonstrates what the thesis is going to be. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. That's the quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. King stated in his famous I Have a Dream speech in Washington, D.C. in 1963, "Is affirmative action still necessary in America? Affirmative action is still necessary because America does not have enough equality and diversity." There are two definitions of affirmative action. One, race-neutral, gender-neutral assurance against actual discrimination, and two, racial preferences and gender preferences for the underrepresented races and genders. Most Americans associate affirmative action with the second definition, causing much controversy. However, the true and intended meaning of affirmative action is the first one. Affirmative action is still essential in America because Americans do not have sufficient equality and diversity in our workforce and universities. So right there, that last sentence in the introduction paragraph is the thesis. So we'll take a look at how the author supports that thesis with evidence that is strong and clear to support that idea and that opinion. Here's a photo of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and you can indeed watch his video. We're not actually going to watch it right now, but it is possible to look it up on YouTube or find a link to it on Moodle. Here's the first body paragraph with examples. First, affirmative action is still necessary because of lack of equality. White males typically earn significantly more than women and minorities. According to the National Committee on Pay Equity, women overall make 71 cents as compared to a man's dollar. While minority men make more than non-minority and minority women, non-minority males make about $9,000 more than minority men, $14,000 more than non-minority women, and $17,000 more than minority women in white-collar occupations, according to the federal civilian workforce. Without the aid of affirmative action, women and minorities continue to fall behind in the workforce. Affirmative action is still necessary in order to ensure equality among white men, women, and minorities. By using affirmative action, that is race-neutral and gender-neutral assurance against discrimination, we can live up to this country's statement that all men are created equal and value diversity throughout America. So we can see here that the evidence in this first body paragraph is data. We have some data, some facts to support the thesis. So in this case, the data shows how there is not equality in terms of the amount of earnings that different groups of people make. So next, we're going to move on to look at the second body paragraph that has additional support for the thesis. Second, affirmative action is needed to create diversity in America. Affirmative action allows people of different races and backgrounds to interact in the workplace and universities. During 1996, Neil Rudenstine, president of Harvard University, explained Harvard's commitment to diversity by using John Stuart Mill, who emphasized the value of people being in contact with people who are different from them. Justice Powell, who cited a diversity of opinions, experiences, backgrounds, talents, aspirations, and perspectives, helped college students to feel great intellectual exchange, exploration, and growth. According to Patricia Gurin, a psychology professor at University of Michigan, students experience better learning in a diverse educational atmosphere and are more prepared to become active in our pluralistic, democratic society after they leave college. Affirmative action is necessary because it creates diversity in America's universities. So here in this paragraph, we have evidence that's based on expert opinions, or opinions from authorities who are experts in this particular field. And several are cited here. So we can see how those opinions are used in this case to support the thesis. And of course, if you're going to cite an expert in an essay, it's important that that expert actually be considered and recognized as an expert or an authority in the field. So next, we're going to take a look at the concluding paragraph. So again, this is an example of a very brief argument essay that only contained a total of 4 paragraphs. Generally, we would have at least 5 paragraphs with 3 body paragraphs. So here's our concluding paragraph. To create race-neutral and gender-neutral assurance against actual discrimination is affirmative action's true definition. By keeping affirmative action in America, American citizens will be able to create equality and diversity throughout this country. If we, the American citizens, continue to use affirmative action in America, we will be able to remove the chains of oppression from women and minorities. As Dr. King said, free at last, free at last. We are free at last. So we can see here how the concluding paragraph reiterates or restates the thesis and also extends to the possibility and ties back into the original quote that was listed at the beginning of the essay, another quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So here we have the citation from where this essay was adapted from and works cited in the essay. So these are the sources that provided the data and the quotations and expert opinions that were used in the essay to support the thesis. Argumentation is a very important type of writing, especially for academic writing, for use in colleges and universities, as well as in professional fields. So argumentation can be used often in the social sciences, history, psychology, sociology, political science, and so on. Also in the sciences, such as biology, chemistry, physics, and the health sciences, English and writing, of course, as well as other subjects. Argumentation is also essential in business, in advertising and sales, as well as in politics for political action, in government, economics, and in creating policy. So it's a really essential type of writing that we need to practice to be successful, both in academics as well as in the professional world. So that ends our talk on argumentation.